Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again to the Toon Review YouTube channel for tonight's transfer/latest news show with myself, Paul, and I am joined tonight by Billy and Stato. Sam is away at the Olympics for the rest of the week, so hope she has a fantastic time. But we will hold fort and, some very interesting stories going on across the Newcastle United universe, as per usual at the moment. But as usual, if you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, hit that thumbs up button. And if you are new to the channel, like what you see, please do come and subscribe. We've had a lot of subscribers recently, so welcome to the channel, everybody. It is free to do so, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload any future videos or we schedule in the live shows. You can support the channel in two ways: by using the membership, which is the join button just underneath us. We've got some member prizes coming up at the back end of the week, and super chats are available as per usual. The $ at the bottom of the live comments, and that will guarantee your comments to be read out on the show. That put me off completely there. But there you go. Good evening, fellas.
Good evening. Good evening to all those in Viewerland.
Nothing in the news about the Manchester United story, guys. Nothing in the mainstream media at all.
Not surprised.
Despicable.
I've been thinking about it today, and I think that Super League was all a key for them being holding the Premier League to ransom whenever they do something wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
I honestly believe that.
Well, there's been some clarity from certain people today. Kieran Maguire has been tweeting about it. I'm really disappointed with how he's tweeted about it, actually, because I like Kieran Maguire. But he's very much lent into it's not corruption, shut up, everyone, which is missing the point. It's still frustrating for everyone else. It feels like we're at a closed shop. It's the fact that Chelsea are selling hotels and Man United are fine. They're getting lucky, I guess. They submitted what they wanted to submit and it got approved. Other people's didn't. So even if it's not corruption, which I said this yesterday, I don't want to believe it is. I don't think it is. However, it's frustrating for everyone involved. So this whataboutism, the not whataboutism is basically just saying it's not corruption, everyone shut up, which, again, I'm not. That's not what he said. I'm just angry with him. I didn't like how he was responding to people.
I don't care what anybody says. It is corruption. Of course it's corruption.
It still needed addressing. It's still wrong.
What it is playing on two different playing fields.
Yes.
For two lots of sets of clubs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that's the thing that needs addressing more than anything. It's always the cartel against the rest of it.
It just can't be swept under the rug. It can't.
No.
Happening.
Well, that's what the mainstream media are wanting, and that's what the mainstream media are doing. You know, they're not even bringing this up as a story that's worth even talking about. The one guy I thought would bring it up was Simon Jordan. He never spoke about it either. It's a load of bollocks. It really is. It's an absolute load of bollocks. Anyway, let's turn our attentions to Newcastle United, shall we? And the gay situation just continues to roll on. Palace, of course. Their social media admin put that photo up this morning of him arriving at training this morning. But I said in the earlier video, guys, what's he supposed to do? You know, he's due to turn back up for training today, Crystal Palace. There's no deal with Newcastle United in place as yet. So he goes to who he's employed by.
Yeah, of course he is. He's a professional footballer and he's employed by Crystal Palace Football Club. And therefore he has to adhere to their rules until he doesn't play for Crystal Palace Football Club.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the fact that he's smiling and looking like he's shaking people's hands. I mean, big deal. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? He's known them for quite a while. You know, he's going back to the training ground. I'm sure there'll be, the Palace players will be probably, taking the mick out of him a little bit, saying, "Oh, what you doing here?" and all of this kind of stuff. But it's not done yet. And it depends who you believe in the press as to whether or not this might actually happen, because apparently there's a little stumbling block between the transfer fee. Palace are holding out for 65. Newcastle apparently have said 60. I wouldn't have thought that there'd be a real mashup over £5 million, Alex.
Well, they're not really in a position where they have to sell.
No, they're not.
They've recruited well. They've got a good team. They've let Elise go. They're in no position where they need to let him go for they don't owe us any favors. It's not like we've got a recent history of buying and selling between the two clubs. We tried to pinch their head of development as a technical director. Yeah, it is what it is. It's business. If they hold us to the 5 mil, they'll hold us to the 5 mil. It is what it is. I
mean, if we want to go and get him, then that's what Palace. If anybody comes in for our players, how many times have we said over the summer? If you want that player, then pay what he's worth, or pay what we think he's worth, and that's the same thing going the other way. We can't just go in and say, all right, we'll pay this without. Palace are perfectly entitled to turn around and say, right, well, we want 65. It doesn't matter whether we as fans think that's a overvaluation, which a lot of people do, but it's come to the crunch here where this deal needs to happen, or it doesn't happen at all. It can't be
good for the long-term health of Palace. They've got to do this. Yeah, he's just come off the back of a really good tournament with England for himself. I've got to add that extra bit because it was for himself. Additionally, he's not got that long left on his contract, so this is the maximum fee they would ever be able to ever get for this man, ever. So it's now or never. And if they get a really big fee for him, they can then reinvest carefully and push money into other places and keep doing what they've been doing. So they're well within their rights to play it this way. We can't moan. If we want to join the top table, we've got to pay the money.
And obviously there's been a few other player links today, the likes of Kingsley Coman. And of course, the man who never seems to disappear is Rabiot. Dr. House, thank you for your super chat. Hope we get Guay, and totally agree with your earlier video about Rabiot, Paul. Also, hi, Billy and Alex. Love the channel as always. The Rabiot one, I don't understand. I don't know why we need him. I don't know why we need to bring that kind of player in. Alex, I think you put a couple of comments on the earlier video to a few of the viewers who were you mentioned his mother who tends to deal with his
whoa let's give that context first. I did mention his mother, but
but she does deal with most of the it's well known that she's been very, very fierce when it comes to negotiations for her son.
She's rather like Colonel Tom Park with Elvis, isn't she?
Absolutely.
So there were some podcast appearances by certain people in the past when he was when was this? Was this when he was leaving? This was before he joined PSG. I've even forgotten where he was before then. This was when he was getting his big first move when he was a free agent. And there were rumours that the mother was just storming into offices demanding £10 million signing on fees, and she wanted this and he had to have that. And it was ludicrous, and they were getting laughed at, and there were stories around clubs in Europe, and it was a big drama. I don't know if it's still like that. I've not heard anything since, but it's quite a well-known thing that the mother's quite hard to deal with in terms of being an agent / mother. So yeah, but to be fair, I would absolutely take him in a heartbeat. Absolutely,
really?
He's fantastic. Absolutely, hands down. I'd take him straight away.
Well, would you play him, Stowe?
In midfield, Billy.
Instead of?
Well, not instead of. I'd just add him to the squad. And it shoves Longstaff even further down the pecking order, which...
Well, that is true.
Fair enough. I mean, I like Sean. He's a good squad player. But if all of a sudden Rabiot and Tonali are fighting for positions, dear Lord, that's a strong midfield.
Do you not think he comes with baggage, though, Alex?
Well, it can't be any more than Tonali brought.
Well, I know that. But apparently Rabiot's attitude. I mean, look, we've spoken about players' attitudes loads of times and things like that. Why have you two changed positions?
We haven't. StreamYard's messing with you.
No, hang on. I'm watching StreamYard now, and Alex is on the top. I'm looking at YouTube, and Billy's on the top. What the hell is going on?
Is it mixed it round?
Is it delayed? Your YouTube?
No, there is a delay on it, Billy, but not like. I mean, that's weird. That has freaked me out.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's the wrong way around on YouTube. The StreamYard's not worked.
What the hell?
I always like being on top, to be fair.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, Billy. That has really freaked me out. That is a little bit weird. I had to take a double take there and thought, what the hell's going on? But it is what it is. I mean, look, we're sick of talking about people's attitudes and stuff like that because we just don't know. We don't know what people's attitudes are until they come to the club. Many things were said about Anthony Gordon, of course, before he signed. By the way, this is Rabiot's mother.
Oh, Christ almighty.
No,
How do you want your eggs fried or boiled?
yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with her in a dark alley, would you?
Let's be nice.
So you can see why, she's very confident in what she does, because she scares the shit out of people. It's as simple as that.
What's her name?
Winnie the Witch, apparently.
Mrs.
Anyway,
Rabiot.
Yeah,
Mother Rabiot. There we go.
Well, the thing is, if she's doing kind of negotiations, she'll want him to play every week. I don't think Rabiot comes as a second choice. No way on God's earth. So I think I don't think he'll be coming.
I mean, do better. Simple. If we say, look, we want you to come and fight for your place and be a first team player, but we're not just going to bench Tonali or Joe Linton for you. You're going to have to work for it. If they say no, okay, we just wave them goodbye and we move on to our next target. If we can get a deal done and we like the attitude of the player, brilliant. We'll look into it, but I'm not even sure the club would go there, to be honest.
I certainly wouldn't go there.
No. By the way, I've just changed this round again, and it changed. It's like it's in reverse on StreamYard. I don't know what the hell's going on. When I changed this over, Alex went back to the top on YouTube and went to the bottom on here. Never mind. It doesn't matter. We're all on the stream.
It's fine.
Exactly. Are you concerned about the attitude, Billy? Or I mean, look, this is if we get him, and it's a big if. I personally don't think we need Rabiot, or it will happen. And to be honest, I think 90% of the comments under the earlier video that I did today was like, we don't want him. He's not somebody that really the fans are getting excited about.
Well, he's a fantastic footballer, but
is he an Eddie Howe footballer? That's what we have to ask.
Probably not. He's a bit of a diva, isn't he?
Charlie says, evening team. We hope you're well. Please, may we have a shout out for Logan, always waving and loving the school holidays so he can watch you. He loves Billy. Need to get Logan Billy merchandise.
Hi, Logan. How you are, buddy?
He's going to love the first play that we're reviewing as well, because he might share your name.
Oh, my God. Well, let's do it straight away then. Let's bring up the first player, and it is Logan Costa. Interesting.
So
not on a lot of money.
Not on a lot of money at all. So we were linked with him last week. There were a lot of articles about Gehi potentially being a smokescreen and there being mystery centre halves in the mix. We even potentially were thinking of doing a show on that. And then everybody dropped the big bombshell that it was definitely Gehi we were going for. But this link's not disappeared. I've seen more on this kid yesterday and today as well. So I thought, right, we'll do it. We'll review him, because I was going to do it last week, and obviously the Gehi news accelerated, so we pied it off. But I think it's worth having a look at least, just in case. So he is another centre half. He's a young right-footed centre half, 23 years old, from Saint Denis in France, but he plays for Cape Verde, so he doesn't play for France. He is the right size for a centre half. He is 6'2", 6'3" if we're rounding up the half inch, which they always seem to have on FBRF. He is at Toulouse and he's only on apparently 8,600 European biscuits, which is quite cheap. His contract also expires in 2026 in June, so that means he's got 2 years left on his current contract. If we scroll down and have a look at some data, it's not bad. It's for a 23-year-old, it's middle of the park for most statistics, with a much higher than average progressive passes stat, and above average in most of the defensive metrics as well. Middle of the park for aerial duels. Again, we could do with him developing a bit more and winning a bit more in the air, but this is a nice spread there. If we scroll down and have a look, he also profiles similarly to centre halves like Lucas Perron, however we say that. Terrible at French accents.
Perron.
You've also got Maxence Lecroix, who is the link for Palace as the Gehi replacement for them. So you've got some good centre halves on here, and I have gone to the trouble.
He's a good player as well. That Robin Knocker, he's a good player. He used to play for Brest, apparently.
Well, I've gone to the trouble of putting Logan Costa against Mark Gehi. We've glossed over that. We're skipping it, Billy. We've got a graphic of Logan Costa against Mark Gehi. So it is, as you can see, not that shabby, to be completely honest. Blue is Logan Costa. So considerably more progressive passes in his data set. He's fine at the carries and take-ons. Very, very good in the defensive areas as well. Gehi with more shot-creating actions, more successful take-ons. So Gehi potentially better at stepping into midfield when he does and actually going past his man. However, I've pulled up the full data set for this bloke because I think it's worth having a look at some of the extra bits for him. So progressive passes, we saw that already. And if we scroll down, you have got the different passing breakdowns. So the percentage of long passes that he tries is quite a lot. He tries 10 per game, and he often finds the target about 6 times. So 6 long passes completed per 90, which is in the 79th percentile, which is really, really nice. Again, you've got a high volume of passes into the final third, pass into the penalty area. Crosses isn't massive into the penalty area, but he does try quite a lot of crosses. Pass types. So you've got switches in there. Switch 0.47 per 90, and even a cross. He tries a cross every second game, which is interesting for a centre half.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go down, we have also got some general tackle statistics, which is fine. He's good at his tackling. This is what I wanted to see. Carries as well. Carries into the final third is 0.96 per 90. So he's carrying the ball into the... bear with me 1 second. Phone is ringing. Carries into the final third. Again, this is a really good stat. For a centre-half, once per game to be carrying it into the opposition's half, well, opposition's third, into the final third is really, really good as well. And the miscellaneous, I think, gives us some aerial duel statistic. Yes, it does. So about where he should be in the aerial duels as well. Percentage of aerial duels won, 62.4%, which is nice. And I think he's a really well-rounded centre-half who, at the moment, is valued at around £12 million on Transfermarkt. This is what I was talking about the other day when I said there are people out there who we could improve. We might be able to get up to the same level as somebody like Gehi. It's not guaranteed. Absolutely not. It's a massive gamble. But with the coaching of Eddie Howe and picking the right profile, I'm surprised we've not tried to go for a cheaper centre-half as well. Does it have to be a big flashy signing? Absolutely not. I wouldn't mind if we went and got Gehi and somebody like this, to be completely honest with you.
Well, that would certainly. Does he have an injury record, Alex?
I actually haven't checked that, so we're looking at this together.
Wow! Look at that
single injury listed on his transfer.
Yeah. He's due one then.
He's a Terminator. He is a Terminator.
Yeah, Stasso showed me some footage of him before the game. His passing ability is absolutely awesome. Really,
his long passing is really, really good. He's happy at playing in the right winger, left winger. He's got a decent switch on him, and he's actually quite careful with his clearances as well. He aims his clearances quite nicely.
Yeah.
The passing range is good. It is definitely his strength, but he's a lot more powerful than somebody like Fabian Schär. Maybe a little bit slow, but I don't think he's slower than Schär and Botman. So I think that's technically an improvement. But again, would we be able to develop him into a competent Premier League player who's going to assist us in being top 4 quality consistently? That's where you need to do a lot more proper scouting, not just looking at websites. So it sounds really good. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, he looks okay, and as a sort of I guess he can. Bringing him in would, and a lot of people have said this in the chat as well. Bringing him in would free up a bit. If we didn't go for Guy, bringing him in would free more money for the right winger, which we know we desperately need.
He's not the only player like this available.
No, we've said that, haven't we?
This is very much the cheap end of the option. Like you can find similar for 20, 30 mil who are a bit more developed, a bit more of a sure thing. This guy's a bit riskier, but I think he's got the right attributes. But again, I haven't looked at how would he settle, where does he want to play, who's his agent, what's his attitude like, how did he do in his youth setup? Like there's a lot more you've got to go into. But the surface level looks pretty interesting, to be fair.
Well, I'm actually going to poll it. Who would you have? So we'll put Costa or Guehi. Just see where the viewers are and see if they would rather we went for a cheaper centre back and then maybe maybe spent a lot more on that right hand side. Connor, thank you very much for your super chat. Is it true the Stack won't show the games live? I thought the point in it. It's a fan zone, isn't it?
Surely there's no point in it then. It's just a food court.
Yeah, absolutely. Predator, thank you for your comment. Been a member for 14 months now. Hope you're well. Really hope we push hard and bring Gay, but I'd definitely take a punt at bringing in this Costa kid. Looks pretty good to me. Hope you're all doing well. And to you as well. Foxy says the only negative with Costa is the African nations.
Yeah.
But
to be fair, it's not like we've got many others in the squad, so it would only be the one if we brought him in.
Yeah. Apparently, the Stack will only show games that are live on television. They're not allowed to show the 3 p.m. games.
Well, no, that's, I guess, understandable.
Well, yeah, but it's the same as a pub, is it not?
TV licenses and
yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Anyway, just before we look at more players, one player linked with a move away from Newcastle today is Kieran Trippier. West Ham have surfaced as the team that may be interested in taking him down there. What do you make of that, Billy?
I'm not sure. I don't think I'd like him to go to the Premier League club, if I'm honest.
Yeah. It would seem a bit weird, wouldn't it? But the West Ham links are quite strong. I'm not so sure. I don't think Trippier is 100% happy at Newcastle United. I think we've thought that for quite some time now, that maybe everything that's gone on behind the scenes has affected him to somewhat want to move somewhere else. But West Ham, they are looking at a right back. Apparently, they need one. So I don't know. It's a strange one for me. We do have Livramento, and I do believe that Livramento is ahead of Trippier in first team choices. I mean, all of this will be. We'll find all of this out come 2:00 next Saturday when the teams come out for the game against Southampton. As to who the main players are, really. But I do believe surely Livramento, Alex, is ahead of Kieran Trippier now.
I wouldn't say he's surely ahead of Kieran Trippier. I think that's a massive assumption. Depends on a lot of things. Kieran Trippier's still got massive amounts of experience, and I think he had a long year, difficult year. I still think he's.
Do you think Kieran Trippier will be a Newcastle United player in 2 weeks' time?
Probably.
Really?
Probably, yes.
2 weeks, yeah, I think so, but not by the end of the window.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I'm not bothered if he stays or goes. Well, that sounds like I don't mind. Either way, it's win-win. If he stays, we've got a fantastic experienced player who knows he very much bought into this project, knows what it's about. He was here at the start. Which would be fantastic. He can mentor. He can be a leader. It would be amazing. If he goes, it would be because we've got a reasonable fee for him, and it's because he would want to go. And then I guess that's a win as well. It'd be a shame to lose his leadership, but yeah, there are positives to both. We'll see what happens.
Look, I mean, he goes to London again, doesn't he? Play for Tottenham, so maybe he just wants to go back down there. But again, time will tell on that. Now, I just wanted to briefly talk about something that I brought up in the news video earlier on today, and that was the comments made by Sean Longstaff. Not very happy with the PSR situation, and what I took from that interview was, he said the players aren't stupid. They understood that Newcastle United would have to sell. He believed he was one of those players that was on the list to sell. He was expecting that he could be sold. And a lot of the players, during the summer were on edge about where they'd be playing next season because of PSR. That's not really fair for the players to feel like that, in my opinion. I think it's all bull rot, and everybody knows how I feel about PSR and, how we all do. But then he went on to say about the criticism that he's received. And I found this comment very interesting. That he mentioned Dan Burn as well, saying that because they're Geordies, they can come in for a bit more scrutinising. I mean, I don't tend to agree with that.
Well, no, I don't, to be honest. I mean, I think they get more allowances, if anything. But it's fair to say that both Dan Burn and Sean Longstaff at times last season were probably the worst two players in the side. So, you've got to criticise the players that aren't playing well. I mean, you're entitled to. But we know that Sean and Dan Burn have also been fantastic for us in games, so they get probably more praise than what they should when they play well, and probably more criticism when they don't. It's the nature of the beast.
Well, Dan Burn's performance has improved dramatically when he went back to centre back, didn't he? I mean, and again, it was the left hand side. I mean, he could cope against certain teams, and he couldn't cope against others. And
I mean, the PSR thing. I mean, the fact it's messing with the security of footballers. You know, players having to move from clubs they don't want to move from because of clubs needing to sell them. That's ridiculous. It's wrong. It's 100% wrong and should be sorted out.
Well, he said about the Elliot Anderson transfer that he turned up for training and Elliot was packing his stuff and there wasn't much word said. He just hugged him. And I get the impression that a lot of people were a little bit pissed that we sold him. A lot of the players, obviously, we know he got on with quite a few of them. And I just generally think that the players were a little pissed off at who was sold. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. But at the end of the day, on the flip side of it, people will say, well, they're professional footballers. You just have to get on with it, Alex.
No, I disagree. I think they've struggled this year. They're humans. I've always been against that. They're professional footballers. Get on with it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And it is challenging for them in certain aspects. And they're just young men trying to find their way and figure it out. And there is a lot of expectation on them to be role models for younger people, aspirational heroes for the general public who support the club. And they need to do this for charity, but they need to be perfect on the pitch. They need to be punctual. They need to be perfect in their family life. Everything needs to be spot on. And these are potentially lads who are 21, 22, 23, figuring stuff out, who a few years ago, when they were maybe 15, 16, it wasn't certain whether they were even going to be a professional in life. They might have been let go by their academy and had a default job like we've all got. So I have a different view on that. But and secondly, I think the problem is at the moment is Dan Burn and Sean Longstaff, those two specifically, will see everything that goes on online. And there are different levels of what's said about them. There is very much the camp of they're not good enough, get them out of the club, which I think is nonsense. I think is absolutely ridiculous, not fair on them. And then there's people who criticise them for bad performances, which I think is absolutely justified. And they've got to take their medicine with that, because we're allowed to criticise player performances, absolutely. And it's got to be somewhere in the middle. And they've got to understand it's not all of us. It's some people just going, oh, they're not good enough, sell them. And then there was a lot of people saying, well, they're fine to be squad players. Like, there's nothing wrong with Dan Burn being in the leadership group, being a squad player and to be fair, he can push. When Botman has wobbles, Dan Burn's perfectly good enough to push him for a starting place. I think that's completely fair to suggest it as a centre-half. Sean as well.
I don't mind him as a centre-half. I think left back had a lot of problems with that. I think a lot of fans did. However, one thing I'll never accuse Dan Burn of is never giving 100%. And he maybe, certainly didn't look as comfortable at left back as he does at centre back.
No, of course not. But that's not on him. He plays where he's told to play.
Yeah.
And Sean, likewise, ideally would be a squad player. Look, he's a Premier League quality player, but we're not just looking for Premier League quality players. We're trying to put a team that can challenge and get us enough points to finish in the top 4 consistently. And is Sean good enough to do that? When he's on form, yeah, we can play up to that. It's hard for him, but we've seen it in bits. But he can't consistently do that, which is why we purchased Tonali. The club agree with that because they bought Tonali. We can't hide that. But I've got no problem with Sean playing 20, 25 appearances and helping the squad, being local. I've got no problems with that whatsoever, and I hope he stays. Unless we get a really good offer for him, I don't see the reason to sell him. Because if you look at other Premier League teams, who is their rotation option? Is there anyone that's as good as Sean for other clubs as the rotation option? Not really, unless you start looking at Man City. There's not that many clubs out there whose rotation's as good as Sean. So I'll take it.
I mean, the thing is, Billy, where does Sean, stack up now in the squad? Because we know you've got the Miley brothers coming through as well. Now you've got Joe Willock there as well. I think there's better options than Sean within the squad already now.
I do too. If I was picking a side, he'd probably be below Lewis Miley and potentially below Jamie Miley. However, I think Eddie Howe will have him just below Tonali personally. I think if Tonali's injured, then Sean Longstaff will come straight in.
Do you not give the Mileys loans?
Maybe
and
one of them.
the Miley's not ready to go and play 40 games in a professional side.
I don't see Lewis Miley going on loan, Alex. I don't
not
see
because of his injury.
Possibly
Yeah.
Jamie.
Maybe Jamie. Yeah.
But then again, I mean, we've just, I heard today that Eddie Howe's bringing Sanusi into the first team squad training now. He's brought him up from the academy because he sees him as a first team squad member now, which is brilliant news for Sanusi. I'm very excited by him. I think he's a really talented kid. And obviously with Eddie bringing him through to the first team squad now, he's got a big season ahead of him as well. Jay Stewart, thank you very much for your new membership and supporting the channel that way. I really do appreciate that. Welcome to Members Club. What was that one there? Ray says, just a pity Dan Burn wasn't that bit quicker when he's running. I don't think he's slow, but I think what Dan Burn struggles with is out and out pace. We know that, but he's not. I don't think he's slow, but his timing of tackles is what sort of, especially at left back, sort of he got away with it quite a lot because he's got those long legs to make a tackle. But I think we all know that Dan Burn's preferred position is a centre back.
His acceleration's the bit that's
it's getting them going. Yeah,
we didn't have a go at Dan Burn though, did we? In the Forest game, for example, I think we criticised Eddie Howe. Because, look, I'm sorry, but if you take every single left-sided centre-half in the league last season and you put them in a foot race against Anthony Elanga, every single one of them is going to drop. Every single one. I can't think of one that would win that race. I mean, Ake, maybe if he gets a bit of a jostle on first. Who's quicker than Elanga? None of them. So I think it's a really unfair litmus test. It's almost just rigged. It's not... We played him there because we wanted to do a funny shape. He had a system. He believed in it. He trusted it. We got burnt over a period of weeks. We managed to fix it. It happened. Hopefully,
Geordie Boys makes an interesting question. Would you rather have kept Anderson and sell Longstaff for 20 million?
Well, no, because we would have, but it wouldn't have reached the money we needed.
True.
Kenzie, I don't say Zanussi, I say Sanusi. Sanusi, that's his name. It's not Zanussi, man. I mean, I don't know how you're hearing it, but I'm definitely saying Sanusi. Dear.
The Tottenham Dutch centre back. What Van de Ven, the one that Isak put on his head.
Mickey can't defend him.
Him, yeah.
Apparently, he's a decent player. Him, Anyway,
he just didn't show it against us.
Michael says, how many times have I listened to Toon review commentaries and all I hear is Miggy and Longstaff's fuck up after fuck up? Just get rid ASAP. I'm not disagreeing with you. Right, the poll, who would you have, Costa or Guehi? How do you think that's gone, guys?
I think Guehi's got to be the answer for that.
80% say, 81% say Guehi, 19% say Costa. So all that about
a lot of people who are wrong. Jesus.
81% of the Newcastle fan base, Alex, basically say Guehi. So there you go.
I'd be okay with either, to be fair. If they announced either or tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, that's good. Well, or both. But if they did either or, I would be. I mean, it's win-win, right? If we get Guehi, it's a massive improvement to the defense. If we get a cheaper option, it means more money on the right wing.
Yeah.
I don't mind either way.
Niall says Van de Ven is quicker than. Van de Ven is quicker than all our defense. Ben says he is quick. Van de Ven just bad at defending consistently.
I'd like to see him in Livramento in a foot race. Because Livramento's rapid, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Very, very rapid. Right, let's do our second player of the evening, shall we? And it is... Oh, sorry, Dr. House has just come in with a super chat there. Looking forward to Tino and Hall next season, lads. Absolutely. It is... Oh,
I mean, we've got to.
Yeah, we do. We do. He was linked. He's linked today.
Mama, I love you.
Love you, Mama.
I mean, do you want to do the middle names?
Adrien, we don't want him at Newcastle United. Rabiot.
It's Adrien Thibaut Marie Rabiot. Maybe after his mum.
Thibaut Marie. It should be Grotbag, shouldn't it, instead of Marie? Revenger, thank you very much for your super chat. I love the players have each other's back. Shows our chemistry. As a club, we need to improve our squad over time. PSR strains club and player relationships. Good comment.
There's a few people not happy with the Rabiot shot. I mean, we're linked. This is how this works, guys. We have to look at him.
We have to look at him, whether you like it or not, guys.
We can't just keep looking at Mbappe every year if there's a sniff of it.
Well, Alex, as Mr. Stato, it's your job to convince our good viewers why they shouldn't fall asleep during this little section,
right?
Why he could be, or what he would do for Newcastle United. Right,
are you ready?
Well, I guess
shall be converted. So it was one of you said, would he be able to play the Eddie Howe way and in an Eddie Howe system? Is he an Eddie Howe player? So I'm going to bring your attention immediately down to how he profiles as a player and who is number 3 on the list. It is Joe Linton. So in terms of the attributes he can bring to a side and how his game currently profiles, it has been like this for quite a long time.
Was that not from 2 years ago when Joe Linton was crap?
No, this is based on
a strange list. Jack
data.
Harrison's on that list. Anyone not like Joe Linton? It's really Jack Harrison. I don't get it.
Well, it's pressing and energy, ball carrying. There's bits of it that make sense in the profile. So let's go back up and have a look. So he is 29 now. So this would be
he's past it.
A 3-year contract. Again, I wouldn't want any more than a 3-year contract. They may go and fish for more because he's on a free. He is left-footed as well, which would give us something a bit different. He was very good in the European Championships as well. I thought he was really, really good for France. He is 6'2" as well, so he ticks a lot of boxes. Competent, technical, experienced midfielder, a winner, the right height. He's got all the attributes we're looking for.
There's now a poll up as well, guys. It just says Rabiot, yes or no. So we'll see how that goes. But Alex, continue with your selling of this player.
Right. Progressive carries speaks for itself. 2.44 per 90 in the top 14% in the European Big 5 leagues, with nearly a successful take on per 90 as well. Shot total is nice and healthy at 1.29 shots per game, considering he's the water carrier. That's not bad at all. He's also very, very good at aerial duels 1, which is nice. We do want to win that, something that Willock needs to improve in the midfield. And tackles and interceptions, middle of the park. So fine with that. Passes is to be expected. He does a slightly different role. He's more of a shuttler, to be fair. And if we go and have a look at his career to date, well, he's won quite a few trophies.
He's won quite a few trophies in League One because he played against the Dog and Duck every week.
Well, yeah. I mean, they lost a couple of titles to Monaco. Although he'd left. Yeah, he'd left by the time Lille beat them. I think that must have been a Monaco season when he came second. But that is a crazy tenure. That is for this entire time at PSG. There was only one season where he didn't lift the trophy. That's bonkers. So Juventus, he won the Serie A in his first year there, and then they did struggle after that. They had a bit of financial issues, and they found a little funny black financial book in a drawer, and they got in big trouble, and things happened. That's kind of, I think they've brushed that under the rug now. But he's been a lot more available for Juventus. 31 starts the year before last, and then last season with 30 starts as well, with very, very good goal contributions from midfield. Eight goals, 4 assists, and then last season was 5 goals, 3 assists. So very, very healthy from midfield. If we go and have a look at some games for him as well, let's go see. Oh, look at this. We have an 8 as we finished off the season. He's got some really, really good performances in the Euros as well, but we'll have a look for club. Why not? So Juventus against Salernitana. This was in May. So they played with a funny wing-backs system. Bremer, of course, has just signed a new contract with Juventus. A contract extension. Rabiot on the left side of midfield next to Locatelli. If we scroll. There we go. So very left-sided there. If we scroll down, he got his goal. A key pass.
Very left-sided, linked with Newcastle. Never.
Exactly. One accurate cross, 2 accurate long balls. He had a couple of shots, which again rings true with the data. 6 out of 10 ground duels, 5 out of 10 aerials as well. So being combative in the midfield. He was fouled 4 times as well. So drew 4 free kicks for his teammates. 1 offside, a couple of tackles. So yeah, nice balanced game for him there. We'll have a look at a French game. Which one do you want to look at? Because there's a few. I'll let somebody else pick.
Didn't exactly pull trees up, did they?
Well, you could argue that Dembele and Moani and Mbappe should have been doing a bit more, and Griezmann. Like, is it this guy's job to score all the goals? Not really. I thought him and Kante both did fantastic in midfield. I thought they performed really, really well. Kante rolled back the years. Rabiot was doing all the shuttling. Griezmann was quite good at the counter-attacks, but there were a lot of people not finishing their dinner for France in the Euros at all. So the game against the Netherlands, he dropped an 8.2. And again, it is against a decent Netherlands side. So he was, where was he? On the left-hand side. So Kante and Tchouaméni in midfield with Rabiot on the left. He was very much on the left. He did swap around a bit, though. Very, very tidy in possession. 97% passing accuracy in this case. 4 key passes across, a couple of long balls. Created a big chance. Had 1 pop at goal. He won every single duel against the Netherlands in a tournament, which is outstanding. Completed every single dribble. 3 total tackles. Yeah, just a fantastic player who's been doing it for his club, for his country.
The question I've got, Alex, is you say he's a fantastic player, but a few people in the comments have made a valid point. His contract was running out, okay? Yep. Nobody pre-signed him in January. Nope. And now he's without a club, and nobody is linked to him, bar us.
You
have to ask the question why.
2 words.
Is his mother, has his reputation been ruined by his mother?
Yes. His mother, player agent, relatives. It's a nightmare to deal with. Absolutely. I think that's the reason. 100% the reason. I think the main issue with our squad is, if we go and bring up one of our tactical boards, let's put some people in position, shall we? Who do we want? Joe Linton. Where's Willock? Let's go pull Willock from somewhere. Willock, where are you, mate? There you are. Right, so our midfield may look like this. Of course, you'd put Tonali out there as well. But we've got potentially Willock and Joe Linton both fighting for the left-sided 8 position. If we bring in a player like Rabiot, again, there isn't much room for him. It would be, can we bring Tonali in? Do we have a Tonali option? Yes, we do. There he is. So that is our midfield at the moment. So if Rabiot comes in, where does he go? How does he slot into this? Of course, we've got rid of Anderson, who was kind of floating around these positions.
You've also got the Miley brothers there. You've got, there's players. I mean, look, the major problem I have with Rabiot, Alex, is his wages. If these reports are right that he's demanding 250 grand a week at 29-year-old, I think if that's what his mother's demanding for him, then she can go and, sniff her own knickers as far as I'm concerned, because there's no way. There's no way that I want a play. I mean, I know we are going to have to eventually, do something with our wage structure. If we want to be an elite Champions League team, we will have to pay the wages for these players. However, Rabiot at 250 grand a week, not for me.
I think it's going to be more than that, because he's on a free transfer.
Because he's a free transfer.
He'll want 350k a week, I imagine. All the optics. I mean, he's a fantastic footballer. There's no doubt about that. He's a fantastic footballer. He is really, really good player. But all the optics to me say, I think this one's a no-no. He's too old, too much money wanted.
Swiftly.
But that's why, though, if we weigh up all the options, he gets a tick for most of it, but 2 big ones are wages and age. So yeah, he gets 2 negative or no ticks. He gets 2 crosses in those boxes. But I'm just trying to show everyone by having a look at him and how he's still playing. He does tick most boxes that we need. There's a lot of good in here. So if by magic there happens to be a decent negotiation, I would absolutely jump on board with this. But I agree. I don't think there will be. I think the wages will be too high. I don't think we'll go near him with a barge pole. So I think it's a massive no as well. However, I'm just saying, if there's a chance, he is good enough. He's fantastic.
Oh, without a doubt. Take money out of the equation, and if you take money out of the equation, then yeah, I'd have him tomorrow.
Interesting. Keith Truscott, thank you for your super chat. Rabiot, yes, linked, but wages too much. Defo not ready for that amount of money. And do we really need another midfield player? It's a no from me, lads. Let's have a look at the poll, shall we? What do you reckon, guys?
90% no.
80% of the Newcastle United fan base say no, they do not want Rabiot.
I think he could even sit in the 6, couldn't he, where Bruno plays? No danger.
Yeah,
this is what I mean. He would basically be the opposite to what Tonali will be doing for us now. Left-sided 8, but could also cover Bruno. And then we would have a fully complete midfield with no holes in it should anybody roll some dice or break any legs.
Lewis Smiley fan, thank you for your super chat. Share contract runs out soon. Thought we had UCL money. Well, he's extended till the end of next season, so he did extend, but nobody knows what the money situation is at Newcastle, and nobody will apart from the people that deal with the money inside the club. Reporters consistently get saying how much we've got. They don't know either. Summarizing, fair enough. You can give an opinion saying we think this is what's available. We think that's what's available. But at the end of the day, the only people who do know are the Newcastle hierarchy themselves. Sharon says, how would our players feel with him on 250 grand a week?
I think some would be quite happy because I think Bruno's got a equal of top earners.
I think
Shearer used to have that deal, didn't he? Shearer had that contract that if somebody came in, they would have to match that wage. So
it's a match highest earner clause, and I would imagine Isak might very well have that soon as well.
Maybe Gordon.
Well,
we can't put it in everyone's contract, otherwise we're buggered.
Geordie Dan says his mum is going to flip her lid if she sees that poll.
Because we're a club that's not even in Europe next season, and we finished 7th. So
Ratchet says the only reason we look at him is if he covers Bruno, otherwise too much wages for someone who'd be a sub. Dan thinks he's going to be a Saudi player probably at the end of the day. Rabiot excites me, says Kenzie, about as much as the Ruddy signing.
Ruddy know that.
Well, let's not bring John Ruddy into it. I mean, it's not.
I still
John
feel like people have been a bit harsh. Lloyd Kelly's with us on 150 grand.
Well, reportedly. I mean, reportedly. I'm still not sure about that one, to be honest.
I know two wrongs don't make a right.
No, of course not. But I get your point, and I did make that point.
If we're going to play silly buggers with the wage structure, I'd rather do it with Rabiot than Lloyd Kelly.
Yeah. Andrew makes a good point. Villa have got to sell players apart from obvious. Who do you think could go? They suddenly have to sell players. But I don't know whether that's now.
They've got to sell more.
Yeah, there was some report came out. I think it was today or yesterday.
Because they've sold loads already. They got rid of Douglas Luiz and Diaby. No way.
They sold loads, haven't they?
It's a very interesting situation.
I think Diego Carlos is going to be out the door.
I definitely think we rolled the better dice on that one, getting Burnham Botman.
But to be honest, I mean, it's absolutely shocking. They've made the Champions League, and now they're being treated like this, and we see that the scum from shitty Trafford getting away with blue murder. So Tom says, did you hear about the Man United? Yes, we did, Tom. If you want to go back and have a look at the first 20 minutes of the live show last night, you will see how I feel about that, and I feel very strongly. Ray says, if it comes to it, I would take Chiesa now. That's if we got Gay. I mean, Chiesa's gone very quiet. The links to Chiesa, I have to say, have died down a little bit. But, I mean, Kingsley Coman was mentioned today that because of Bayern Munich, they have turned around and said that they would let him go either as a transfer or as a loan. And apparently the report also said that they're willing to let him go for a low fee as well, if it was to be a full transfer deal. However, he had his injury problems last year. I know it's not like us to be linked to injury-prone players, but it's happened again. I mean, Coleman is a tremendous player, but I'm not sure. I mean, I said in the news show earlier on that maybe getting him in on a loan deal is not as risky as bringing him in on a full transfer, especially if he still has injury niggles. I don't know whether you can get the.
I'm shocked by the amount of European biscuits he gets paid.
Yeah, I mean,
people complaining about Rabiot's wages.
Dear God! Wow. I mean, listen. I mean, are we? Are we about to smash our wage structure?
You could have 7 Ryan Frasers for that.
Well, I'd rather have Coleman, to be honest.
So would I, but...
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of cash. That is a lot of cash.
I mean, however, though, he's 28. He has won 9 domestic league championships, which is ridiculous, by the way, and a Champions League. And his lovely green bits look like this.
Antacid's loft. Can't be any better.
I mean, he's a very good player playing for one of Europe's elite. He
is linked with PSG as well. I do have to say that, but he hasn't signed for PSG. There's just links.
I'm going to scroll down because I want to see. Oh my God! Last year was the first season he didn't come first ever. That's ridiculous.
Blame Harry Kane for that.
Look at this guy. Look what Harry Kane has done to this poor man. He has never finished outside the top 1, and then they finished third last season.
Did Harry Kane not score about 40 goals last season?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're being a bit harsh to blame Harry Kane.
No, I know, but look at this guy's career.
But it's clearly his fault.
Ridiculous.
I mean, he did start off at PSG, of course, so there's automatic links for him to go back then. But he is only 28. It's not exactly. We're not talking about somewhere to go to finish your career. I think he's still got a lot to offer. And look at the players there. Look at those.
I don't even need to sell it for you. You can just see that he's fantastic.
I think everybody wants to see his injury record, Alex. I think that's the main thing that people want to see.
Yeah. All right. Let's go and paste his name in.
There's no doubt in this guy's ability. I mean, he's a fantastic footballer.
Hang on a minute. What is Transfermarkt have a pronunciation section for player names? Is there anything in it?
Well.
Oh my God, there is.
Adrien Rabiot.
We've got to use that in the future.
Indeed.
I never knew that was there. Has that always been there, or am I just blind?
I don't know. I've never seen it before. I mean, there's not one there for Kingsley Coman, is there?
57 appearances for France as well. Oh, there we go. Let's press it.
Oh, there is. Kingsley Coman.
Nice. Contracted until 2027, by the way. God, his market value is still 50. There's no way they'll get that.
No.
Right, injuries. How do we look at injuries? Injuries is over there.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, good grief!
So just last season. Oh, it is as well, isn't it? Just last season was muscular problems, 3 days. That's fine. That's not too bad. Torn muscle fiber, 20 days. This is not a good one. Knee medial ligament tear, 50 days, which he missed 9 matches for. A 4-day muscular problem. All right, it happens. And then an adductor injury for another 48 days. Yeah, he missed a lot of football. And in previous seasons as well.
Heart problems? Christ almighty.
Jesus, hell, 25 days with heart problems back in 2021.
Yeah, that's
cute. Or was that his wife?
There's 3 pages.
Yeah, should we scroll back?
Good God almighty.
Oh, Transfermarkt's broken because
it doesn't want to show us. Good God.
Right, so quarantine, hamstring.
What is a capsular injury?
Couldn't get that.
No, it's not that. Back problems, thigh problems, muscle stiffness.
Look at the bottom.
Muscle fiber, fitness.
Ligament tears again.
Syndesmotic ligament tear. I don't know what that means. It sounds quite bad though, because he missed lots of games. Yeah, that is a lot. Let's look at page 3. Why not? I mean, to be fair, this was years ago. He had bronchitis, tendon irritation, minor knock, bruised. To be fair, this was years ago. This was 10 years ago.
Yes, it's a whole transfer.
Torn lateral knee ligament. Capsular tear of ankle joint. Yeah, there's quite a lot of. Okay, a loan, fine. I don't think we should pay any money for him.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, it's very rare you see 3 pages. It does give you the totals as well. So last year he missed 125 days with 5 injuries and missed a total of 21 matches last year, which is. Quite a lot. Well,
that's what they were saying in the report, that because he missed so many games last season, and given his injury record previous to that, that Bayern know that they're not going to get the 50 million quid or whatever he's valued at. They will let him go on a quite a.
This would be a fantastic loan, though.
Absolutely,
loan.
Yeah. I mean, a loan, there's not really any risk there. But the problem is, we're saying there's no risk there. We're looking for a proper right winger who will do the job for the season, but we can't trust him to stay fit. We need somebody that's
Well, just loan him in with no option to recall and then buy another right winger and just go, oh dear, sorry, whoops. And then we've got 2. We wouldn't be able to do that, but why not? But he is absolutely fantastic. And I just can't get over the fact that last year was the only year he hasn't won a major trophy. It's madness.
We won't blame Harry Kane. We'll blame Eric Dyer instead. Eh?
Yeah, it was Eric Dyer's fault.
Both Tottenham, though, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's
where's King Hoddle when you need him to look at something? Look at this.
It's a hell of a record. I mean, nobody's denying he hasn't had a fantastic career or he isn't a fantastic player. But again, I mean, we're linked with
his goal contributions compared to minutes are great as well. He's just never. To be fair, oh my God, I've just noticed something as well. There is not a single season he's played more than 2,000 minutes in his entire career. In one domestic league. Alex,
do us a favour. Can we go back and look at Callum Wilson's injury record just to compare?
Oh, what you want to see the?
Because I don't think we've ever actually gone and had a look at Callum Wilson's injury record.
Now we a bastard book.
Wyson.
Who's Wyson?
It's not Wilson. I don't think we've ever looked at it. To be fair,
no, I don't think we have.
Well, we had 3 hours spare, have we?
What's he worth nowadays? 13 mil, apparently. Right. Nope. This injury history. He has only 2 pages.
Oh, well, that's not too bad then.
Right. Yeah, but it's the matches he's missed, I think, mounts up, doesn't it? Rather than...
I mean, it always bodes well when they're currently injured.
Yeah.
So, he was ill for 11 days. That was Niakate from Nottingham Forest ripped his chest off, apparently. He got a torn pec. Calf injury, 37 days. Hamstring, 31. Hamstring, COVID, hamstring, calf, hamstring. That's a lot of hamstrings. And then if we go back to page 2, those were his 2 big
there were the Bournemouth
ACLs when he was at Bournemouth. That it happens. Hamstring, and just a cheeky little knee injury to mix it up. But it's mostly hamstrings made of cheese strings.
You'd have fucking thought that Eddie Howe would know he's going to be hamstrung with his injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as some that we've seen, to be fair. It's just... I just think it's because it's every season. We haven't really gotten a decent injury-free season out of him ever. And I think it just makes that so much more noticeable. If you had a year where he wasn't injured, people might forget about it, but it just never happens.
Wow. But it's still less than Coman and Chiesa. Although
it is, yeah.
It's time, the time he's missed has been probably maybe more than I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, but Kingsley Coman wasn't the guy for Bayern Munich. Callum Wilson, when he was our main centre forward, we needed him. He was the man. We really needed him to play. So it's a bit different when you're missing somebody of that caliber.
There is a report just come in saying the great Newcastle United right winger search of 2024 is still yet to bear fruit with the new season just over a week away. And it looks like we are going to miss out on Nico Gonzalez because it looks like he is going to be staying in Italy, according to Gazzetta dello Sport.
Oh, what, that Italian outfit?
Yes.
That's fine then. That means he's going somewhere.
That means he's signing for us. But apparently, Adrian Rabiot, Federico Chiesa have been linked to Newcastle, but have never gone. And this name keeps hanging around is Fiorentina's Nicolas Gonzalez. Newcastle fans have been split on the idea of Gonzalez, apparently. Split on Gonzalez? I'm not sure we have been split. I mean,
I'm not sure many people know enough about him to be split on him, to be fair.
Is he better than Miggy? You're damn right he is. Yeah. So, I mean, we somebody who comes into this right-wing position has got to be better than what we've got. And he is better. But I don't know. I honestly did think that we would have a concrete player coming in this week before the Cellar Cup. I really did.
Captain Tom would be better than fucking Miggy.
Well, I don't think he's got a good look about him at the minute, Captain Tongue, has he? But the fact of the matter is, I was hoping that we'd maybe blood somebody in the Cellar Cup. But it doesn't. I just hope the gay situation doesn't drag on and on and on and on like it did with Botman. The thing is, I was listening to the radio. It was either today or yesterday, and there was I think it was the same financial guy that made the comments about Manchester United. Actually, he reckons that the last 2 days of the transfer window are going to be manic. Because teams will need to balance books, players will need to be moved on, and I think it'll all just come to a head in the final 2 days of the window. So when we do our marathon on deadline day, it looks like it could be a very interesting. No. It looks like the final day, deadline day, is going to be brilliant. For lots of rumours. Well, even if they're just rumours kicking around and keeps us on our toes, I'll be happy with that. By the way, guys,
Friday as well, wouldn't it? So we can.
Yeah. Just to remind you all as well that we are going to be raising money for charity again on deadline day. It is a charity stream again, an all-day stream. We are looking to break £5,000 raised for charity. I know that's going to ask a lot of you guys out there, but we raised 4,300 and something last deadline day. We want to hit the £5,000 barrier this time. We are raising money. It's 3 charities this time around. We will let you know what they are in the coming build up to the transfer deadline day. But we are wanting to hit that, and hopefully there'll be battles all over the world again to see who makes the biggest donations and stuff like that. So we have a lot of fun with it as well. So hopefully we can raise over £5,000 and hit the £5,000 mark. So it'll be tremendous. By the way, Chalobah at the Palace looks like that's going ahead as well.
Well, that speaks volumes for certain things, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I thought it was just rumours. I thought they're on the lookout.
Those rumours are picking up.
Who's reported that?
Mark Gay.
Mark Gay, yeah. Mark Gay's reported it, yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Tonali's ban's done in 20 days.
It is.
No, it's not 20 days, is it? Oh, yeah, but the next game will be Tottenham on the 1st of September. It's close, guys. It's close.
Yeah.
Are you coming up to the Spurs game because you think that Tonali's going to be playing?
I am coming up to the Spurs game.
Is.
I'm coming up to the Spurs game to see the King return.
Yeah. It should be very interesting. Keith Truscott, thank you for another super chat. How the hell are we struggling to find someone better than Miggy? Seriously, must be some very crap right wingers out there, if that's the case.
It certainly is. If you look at the news, I'm not saying anything else.
Right, that is it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Nearly 1,700 again, which across both platforms. Brilliant. Thank you so much. If you have enjoyed the show and you haven't already done so, please do give it the thumbs up. That is very important to the channel. And of course, if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. Brilliant community here, as you can see. It is free to do so. But make sure you hit that notification bell so you never miss an uploaded video or one of the live shows. Thank you very much for all your super chats and memberships. Mods, thank you. Billy and Alex, thank you.
Before Paul forgets, please vote for us in the Football Content Creator Awards.
I was coming on
before everybody disappears. I wasn't convinced you were going to remember. Vote for us in the awards, please. There is a link in the description.
It is pinned at the top of the description. There's less than 2 weeks to get your votes in now. So if you haven't already done so, please vote for the Toon Review and put us in the section of Best Club Content Creator - Premier League. That's Best Club Content Creator - Premier League. We'd love to get back to the finals and hopefully come away with something. But it is all down to you guys to get the votes in. And then it's up to the judges. So
what are we doing tomorrow? Sailor preview, is it?
What day is it tomorrow?
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll do a Cellar Cup. Yeah,
I am up on Friday, guys. I am up for the Cellar Weekender. So I'll probably go and check out the stack on Friday. I'll be around. I'll be in Shearer's Bar. I'll probably be chatting to people. Depends if Paul turns up as well. We'll have a wander about. So make sure to come and say hello. But introduce yourself. Don't just tap, because people do this sometimes. They just tap on my shoulder and smile. I'm like, hello.
People do. People actually do come up and say, "Oh, I love the channel," and then just continue walking as if we're going to sort of bite. Just come and say hello. Introduce yourself, because it's nice for us to put faces to the names, rather than just sort of saying, "Oh, brilliant channel," and continue walking. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll see you later." So do come and say hello if you see us kicking around.
Nobody let me buy a shirt as well, because I'm trying to save money and I cannot.
Alex, that's just not going to happen.
Somebody stop me.
We know it'll happen. He'll be in the club shop as soon as he gets there. And there's no doubt about that. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Sorry, Wednesday. Is it? What day is it today?
Wednesday.
Jesus Christ.
Enjoy the rest days of the week.
I know, it's terrible, Billy. Fancy being asleep for half the show yesterday. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Good night.
I wear the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some breathing.